Anne Huey of the Globe and Mail exposed the food industry as one that is rife with misinformation. And nowhere has that been more evident than in the world of ethical eating, a world where marketing, activism, and social media messaging come together to fuel various myths. After McDonald's announced it would switch to cage-free eggs, almost every major fast food chain followed suit. The assumption, and the marketing push, was that this was better for the chickens. Huey decided to test that assumption and set out to answer two questions. Why were so many companies deciding to go cage-free? And is this system actually better for chickens? In her months of reporting, Huey visited egg farms across the country to see firsthand the effects of the different types of systems on the birds. In a clearly written and compelling article, the Hamilton Spectator's Steve Buist explains some of the fundamental issues surrounding the new frontier of cancer treatment known as immunotherapy. Harnessing the body's immune system to fight cancer is a dream that is finally steps closer to becoming a reality for cancer researchers. Arming Ourselves Against Cancer is the first in a 5-part series produced by Buist that explores the paradox in cancer research and treatment at the moment. Exciting new directions in promising therapies balanced with the high costs of these treatments that strain healthcare budgets. Globe and Mail reporters Grant Robertson and Karen Howlett tackled one of the most critical issues facing Canada's medical community today. In the span of 20 years, Canada has become the world's second largest per capita user of highly addictive opioid painkillers, with one prescription written for every 2 people. Tens of thousands have died from the ravages of these drugs, and many more have become helplessly addicted. But how did we get here? In an effort to explain to readers how the opioid crisis began, Robertson and Howlett decided to trace the epidemic back to its very beginning, with the introduction of the first mass-marketed prescription opioid to Canada, OxyContin. Why did progress on one of Canada's largest infrastructure projects grind to a halt when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was elected in late 2015? The outgoing Prime Minister had put the new bridge at Canada's busiest border crossing on the fast track and made it a priority for the Conservatives. Windsor Star columnist Ann Jarvis and reporter Dave Battagello set out to explain what was happening behind the scenes, as well as the potential consequences of the delay. Jarvis spent weeks tracking down sources and combing through documents, and produced a detailed and thorough narrative that raised questions about attempts to influence the new government by the owner of the aging rival bridge. It was accompanied by 2 short background pieces and a video about the history of the project by Battagello.
And the winner in the explanatory category is Karen Howlett and Grant.
Thanks to the judges and to the other contestants. Great stories. Karen and I need to thank our editors for putting up with us on this one, because I think we put this one together in 11 days or something like that. It was amazing. But the reason we were so driven on this story is we're basically looking at documents that show that drug companies were one of the first people who knew how deadly OxyContin was, and rather than tell anybody about that, they decided they'd fight over the patent and the right to make the money off of it. And that sort of led to the whole investigation.
I'd like to thank the Globe's editors, starting with David Walmsley, St. Chris Stewart, and Denis Choquette for giving the Globe the time to chronicle a crisis that's been hiding in plain sight for 2 decades. So the piece that Grant and I did, there was a long build-up to that. For pretty much the entire 2016, there were lots of colleagues, and I want to acknowledge some of them. Andrea Wu took readers to the Vancouver's devastated downtown square. Justin Giovanetti, sorry, I don't have to tell him, but anyway. Justin took readers to Blood Tribe, which is really ground zero for the opioid crisis. And Nathan Vanderclip, our correspondent in Beijing, he helped us trace how bootleg fentanyl was making its way from China and manufacturing plants into our very leaky borders and arriving in Canada. And this is really a crisis where the company, Purdue, that Grant and I wrote about, it has faced really almost no consequences. There has been no acknowledgement in Canada that its opioid was, that their marketing was misleading. They were prosecuted in the US. The company paid a fine of $635 million. In Canada, there is finally a class action settlement that will save $20 million for a company that made $31 billion, and that is billion with a B. So we're going to keep chronicling this because there is still a lot to, leaders have to be held to account, they need to do more, and we're going to keep this in the spotlight. Thank you.